Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Ultima Replenisher. Ultima Replenisher is an electrolyte drink mix for daily hydration. It comes in these convenient little sticks, which is perfect for taking on the go, and it delivers 6 key electrolytes. I love taking them in this form to the gym, but they're perfect for any time of the day. I've been really making an effort to make sure I stay hydrated, and Ultima Replenisher is a great way to do that. There's 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and 0 calories. And it's low in sodium, so it's not salty and I don't feel bloated. And it's made with plant-based colors and flavors. So let's give one a taste. This is the original variety pack, and lemonade is my favorite flavor from this set. And this is the Mocktini variety pack, and these flavors are new to me. I'm gonna try the strawberry margarita. Pour it into my bottle, and then give everything a good shake. Cheers. Oh my gosh, it tastes like summer. It also reminds me of strawberry shortcake. It's quenching, it's cool, it's refreshing, and full of the strawberry flavor from my youth. So if you'd like to try Ultima Replenisher for yourself, you can click the link down below or scan the QR code above and use my code emmymade20 to receive 20% off your order. Big thanks to Ultima Replenisher for sponsoring this video and for their continued support so I can make better videos for all of you. Alrighty, my lovelies, today we're going to be making Kool-Aid pineapple. Have you seen this? This has been going around. It is everywhere. Apparently, it's simply jarred pineapple spears flavored with powdered Kool-Aid. Now, I believe the original inspiration comes from Koolickles, which I did a video of many years ago, about 10 years ago now, and those were called Koolickles, and it's Kool-Aid mixed into pickles. So pickle spears or entire whole pickles. I believe this gained popularity down in the South, and you add cherry flavored or whatever flavor Kool-Aid you like to the jar of pickles along with about a cup of sugar. So you get this briny, salty pickle with an addition of a good amount of sugar and this fruity flavor to the pickle. So you get something sweet, salty, flavored, and intensely sugared and briny and sour too. You've got all of your taste buds firing in the form of a pickle. Interesting, right? If you haven't seen that video, definitely check that one out below. But today we're going to be using pineapple spears instead of pickles. I'm curious to see what it's going to taste like. It's not as curious, in my opinion, as pickles, because pickles are salty and briny and pineapples are naturally sweet. So the combination of more fruity flavor and additional sugar doesn't seem that outlandish. But what I think is interesting is the final result of the pineapple spear marinating in this Kool-Aid. It comes out very bright, especially the red ones, and kind of alarming, and I'm imagining it's going to be packed with a lot of flavor, but we won't really know until we make it. So that's why we are here. So let's go ahead and get started. I saw that someone was hawking these jars of pre-marinated pineapple for about $20 a jar. But if you want to make it yourself, it's going to be a lot less expensive because each one of these at Aldi is about $4. $4.29 for a jar of pineapple spears with coconut water and natural flavors in light syrup. So this already contains some sugar. I'm gonna give these a taste before we add anything to them because I wanna see how sweet it is. When I made the original Koolickles, there's no sugar in it because it's a combination of vinegar and water and salt. You have a brine. So to a jar of pickles, I added 1 cup of sugar. But this is gonna have sugar in it already, so you probably don't need as much. But the pineapple looks great, bright and yellow. You're also going to need some Kool-Aid packets. I got 3 different flavors: the cherry, the tropical punch, and the blue raspberry lemonade. These are the flavors that I saw that were most popular. These 2 are going to be bright red, and this one's going to be kind of an alarming blue color. Now these contain no sugar. This just has the coloring and the citric acid. So I remember mixing this with sugar when I was in elementary school and packing bags of this Kool-Aid mix and eating it as kids. We would just eat it like a dip. We would dip our fingers in it and then eat it, and our fingers would be stained red or blue. I remember hawking this stuff with sugar, and it was 10 cents a pack. Now these are 50 cents. Welcome inflation. Yeah, it's not welcome actually, but it is what it is, I guess. Okay, now we're gonna pour this into a bowl. This is so we can flavor the brine and add sugar. This is actually not brine. I call this a brine, but it's not a brine. This is a syrup. So let's give it a taste. This is packed in coconut water. So here we go. Itadakimasu. Oh yeah. Now, I've had plenty of coconut waters before, but coconut water, in my opinion, does not have any coconutty flavor. But this tastes like coconut. I'm gonna experiment. Because this is already sweetened, I'm gonna do one without any sugar, and then I'm gonna add some sugar to one. So let's try that. I think that the tropical punch is going to be a great combination with this coconutty pineapple thing. So let's do that one first. I'm gonna do 3 tablespoons of sugar. I'll give that a stir. And then I'm gonna taste that to see how sweet it is, because the pineapple is already sweet. Pretty sweet. Now we're adding all of this tropical punch powder into the pineapple. So get that sugar to dissolve, and I'm gonna pour it into my pitcher. Now let's pour this back into here. And put the lid on. Look at that electric color. Give it a little shake to make sure that everything is dissolved. So I stuck the label on here so I know which flavor this one is. And now I'm gonna place this in the refrigerator to marinate for at least 24 hours. Okay, next we're gonna do blue raspberry. And this time I'm just gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar. Same thing. Blue raspberry lemonade right into there. Look at that color. That's alarming. Swizzle that up. Oh my gosh, this color. Look at this color, lovelies. Wow. It's kind of opaque. Is there some white coloring in there? Do you see that? Wow. Let's see if I can get it in here without spilling. Very full. Look at blue raspberry. That looks bizarre. Look at that. Okay, same thing. I'm gonna give this a shake. Marinate. And lastly, we're going to do cherry. For this one, I'm gonna add no sugar. I'm just gonna add the Kool-Aid powder straight into here. Okay, here we go. Right in. Put the lid on as tightly as we can. Look at it pool to the bottom. Shake and marinate. So while our pineapple spears are marinating in Kool-Aid, I thought, why not show you how to cut a pineapple, a fresh one. I purchased this one at Aldi for $1.99, which is a fantastic deal. And if you think of that, 1 jar of prepared pineapple costs $4.29, and you can have fresh pineapple for $1.99, more than half the price. And in my opinion, it tastes a lot better. So let me show you how to quickly open a pineapple. So several years ago, I did a very thorough video on how to cut open a pineapple, including some viral techniques, and I will put a link to that one down below. You should definitely check it out if you want a more in-depth version of how to cut a pineapple. But for here, I'll show you a very simple version. The first thing we're going to do is cut both ends flush. So this part, you can actually grow an entire pineapple plant. You just stick it in some soil, and this will grow into a new plant. And after a bit of time, you could grow a pineapple if you live in the right climate. I've done this with my kids. We live in the northeastern part of the US, so it's not really hospitable for tropical plants, but it did turn into a plant. You can put it inside as a house plant if you live in a cold climate. But yes, grow a new pineapple. Do the same to the other end. Now, pineapples have a very tough outer skin, and you're just gonna go around and cut around the pineapple. Now you wanna cut deeply enough so that you don't have the eyes showing. So right there, do you see how they have the eyes? You wanna cut a little bit deeper because those are a little tough to eat. So it helps to have a very sharp knife. There is a fermented drink, I believe it's called tepache, that is made using the skin of pineapple to make an alcoholic drink. I've always wanted to try it, but every time I peel a pineapple, I'm like, oh, I should make it, but I've yet to do it. Let me know in the comments if you've made it before or if you have a recipe that you recommend. Okay, now there is our skinned pineapple. Now cut it in half. And then you'll see that there is a core here. This part of the pineapple is more ripe. You see how it has a brighter yellow color? This is less ripe. It's a little bit more white. And we want to remove the core. So you can just cut it in half. And then I like to just slice down here to remove the core. Then cut this into spears. And this is essentially what is in our jar of pineapple spears, just this piece right here, like this little wedge. So you can serve it like this if you like, or what I like to do is to cut it into bite-sized pieces. There you have it, perfect piece of pineapple. Itadakimasu. So delicious. And in my opinion, so much better than canned or jarred pineapple. Juicy, succulent. One of my favoriteest fruits. I love pineapple. All right, lovelies. I'll be back in 24 hours and we will taste our marinated Kool-Aid pineapple spears and see what all the hype is about. All right, lovelies. See you in a little bit. Alrighty, my lovelies, it's been a full 24 hours since I added Kool-Aid to my jars of pineapple, and now we are ready to taste them. They're nice and chilled, and let's eat them in the order in which we made them. So we'll begin with the tropical punch flavor. Can't even see the pineapple in there. A little bit you can see them. And this one I did add 4 tablespoons of sugar. So it smells tropically punchy, not surprising. And let's grab a spear. Wow, look at that color. It's alarmingly red. That's all that red 40. Alrighty, my very first taste of a Kool-Aid pineapple. Itadakimasu. That's what it looks like inside. Now the color has penetrated pretty deeply into the pineapple, but I think what I'm surprised about is that it's actually very sour. Not very sour, but significantly sour, which I like. Adding the additional sugar to this, I was totally expecting this to be too sweet, but it's not. The citric acid in the packet of Kool-Aid powder makes these nice and tangy. About as sour as a Sour Patch Kid, which I love. But it is still significantly sweet, but not cloyingly sweet. I really like the cold sensation of the chilled pineapple as opposed to having it at room temperature. It's much more quenching and satisfying and succulent. Also, the chilling process kind of tamps down the extreme flavors. I definitely taste the tropical punch flavor first. It tastes exactly like tropical punch Kool-Aid, but then as you chew it, you taste the pineapple, but more so I taste the coconut flavor they've added to this. I like this surprisingly more than I thought. You don't taste much of the pineapple after it's been soaking in the Kool-Aid, but having said that, it reminds me of childhood and summer, just the flavors of Kool-Aid. Alrighty, so that's the tropical punch. I'm a fan of that one. And that one was sour. I'm curious to see how these other two are. This one I added half as much of sugar, so just 2 tablespoons of sugar to the blue raspberry lemonade. So let's see how that one is. Okay, so there's the blue raspberry. It's interesting how it's got this kind of opaqueness to it. And this is what the pineapple looks like. It doesn't look as intense as the red. It's turned kind of green. It almost looks like a pickle. All right, let's give it a taste. Itadakimasu. This one too has a great succulent texture. Love the temperature. I don't feel like the blue raspberry flavor works as well as the tropical punch with the coconut flavor in particular. Still pleasantly tangy, even more tangy than the other one. Again, if you're a fan of sour candies like Sour Patch Kids, I think you'll like this amount of sugar, 2 tablespoons or 4 tablespoons. This one is even more sour, which I appreciate, but I think the flavor combination doesn't work as well as the tropical punch. The blue raspberry flavor is surprisingly subtle. I always find that flavor to be pretty aggressive and strong, but it's not very strong. Let's try some of the juice. Ooh, I like that. Nice and sour. Again, like a sour candy. Great. I did not try the tropical punch. Let's try that one. That one's a little bit sweeter, but not too sweet. Again, nice balance of acidity. And in this one, I don't taste the coconut flavor much in the juice. This one, I can taste it more. Alrighty. Lastly, we're going to try cherry. And cherry contains no sugar, just the sugar that was present in the syrup that the pineapple was packed in. So this one should be the most sour. Boom. Equally as red, alarmingly red as the tropical punch. Ooh, I think even more red. Look at that. Wow. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Initially, I thought the cherry flavor worked pretty well, but then I taste the coconut, and then I'm like, huh, what is this? The coconut flavor isn't strong, but it's noticeable. And for me, of these three flavors, I think it works best with the tropical punch. Now, other brands of pineapple may not contain the coconut flavoring in the coconut water, so that pairing might be a little bit different in terms of which flavors are more successful. But for the Aldi brand, I think the tropical punch works best. And then I would say cherry and then blue raspberry. Blue raspberry was kind of disappointed by the kind of lack of raspberry intensity. It's pretty subtle. It just tasted like a sourer version with a little bit of a raspberry tinge to the pineapple. You still taste the coconut pineapple flavor. The cherry one works pretty well. I would add a little bit more sugar, just to remind you that this is Kool-Aid, but you definitely get that artificial cherry Luden's cough drop flavor with this, but it doesn't taste cough syrupy. I think that's what I like because it isn't too sweet. But having said that, I would add some sugar to this, at least 2 tablespoons. The 4 tablespoons I think is probably what most people will like because it's a reminder, yes, this is definitely Kool-Aid, while the 2 tablespoons is pleasantly tangy, more like a sour candy. So depending on your preferences, you can add sugar or no sugar if you like, but this makes it quite sour. All right, my lovelies, there you have it. That's how you make the Kool-Aid pineapple and my thoughts on what it tastes like. If anything, you can try these at home. They're very, very simple. And now you know how to open a pineapple if you didn't know how to already. And in my opinion, the fresh pineapple tastes better. I forgot to tell you, how do you tell if a pineapple is ready or ripe? Check the bottom, make sure there's no squishy spots. Make sure that the greenery is nice and green and fresh looking. You don't want any dry pieces or any marred leaves. You want it to be nice and perky, and you want the fruit to be firm and smell it. If it smells too pineapple-y, it's probably overripe, which is not a good pineapple in my opinion to eat, a little bit too sweet and ripe tasting. But there you have it, pineapple in all different kinds of ways. Alrighty, my lovelies, thanks as always for watching, and big thanks to Ultima Replenisher for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to get 20% off your order, you can click the link down below or scan the QR code above and use my code emmymade20. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Are my teeth red? I feel like my teeth are totally stained red. How about my tongue? Oh my gosh, my mom would never let me have these.